If you're not in the toy industry, you shouldn't be making toys. That's what some people say, and aside from the fact that is one of the dumbest things I've heard, because, you know, if you're not in the industry, you shouldn't do the thing in the industry. Well, how do you get into the industry? To do the thing in the industry. It's gatekeeping. Anyway, today we're gonna find out if there's actually some truth to that. Was this Kickstarter that was funded in 48 hours actually good? Or should have just been left in the imagination of the creator? So to start things off, we're gonna look at the Flipboard and the Champions of Nefarity. There are only a handful of champions in this set, this wave, so we have to wait for the future. And if you like the future, then follow Mad Hatter on his social places, because he does have Wave 2 ideas, and they are fantastic. So up first, we have a little baggie of goodies by several artists, including yours truly. This is the fully decked out, packaged, fully ready to go, good time having box of Flipboard and all of his goodies. But like that. All of this proudly packaged and shipped by Toy Stalker, and if you're looking to buy some of these things by the time you're done watching this video, or maybe right now, then click the link down in the description and get what's available before it's too late. Because once these things are gone, that's it. You'll never be able to get them again. They'll never be reproduced again. Because I was a Kickstarter backer, a backer boy, I have some exclusive items, which most people, anybody that's reviewing these things right now, have those exclusive items, and we will get into that. But we have a lot of stuff to look at for a figure that was what, like under 50 bucks? How much was this guy? I don't remember. You think I would, but it was like a year ago I funded this thing. But even for $50, you get a ton of stuff. It's absolutely insane how much was included. Bonus items are these two things here. Everything else, I believe, memory serves correctly, you did it. I don't remember. But his main ingredient accessory is this Catcha, which is just a play on CAPTCHA, or if you have the flaker version, is the Gotcha. And on the back are all the color variants that you could possibly get, which is pretty sweet. And they would just put one of these stickers on that to show off which one you got. But those are the colors, which is awesome. So you can get a stealth one, which I should have in the box here. We have a gold one, glow in the dark, which is crazy, plus the customizer's dream, and then the flaker and the silver one. These are stickers that you can put onto the screen of Catcha. So if you decide to do that, you can. Obviously, once it's on there, it's kind of on there, I guess. I mean, I'm sure these are not really reusable stickers. Yeah, these are just straight up stickers. But you got some great options. You got this one, which is Flipper being flipped on eBay or Evil Bay. You got Flipper Frank. You got all these things, whatever. Look at them with your eyeballs. You don't need to tell me that these are here. Out in the box, is there anything that matters? Usually I like to call out the creators, but we can poop on that. But Ryan is the sculptor who unfortunately had passed away and now is remembered at least in figure form. Maybe one of the best ways for a collector to remember somebody that they didn't personally know, or they did know. I don't know. It's a sad thing to talk about, and I don't know how to talk about it. Okay, we got everything out of the package, so we get to take a quick look at all of this stuff. So let's just start off with these minifigs, which is maybe, for some of you, the highlight of this whole set. And if you're only going to buy these figures, the catch is this is why you buy the figure in the first place. But if you hate cats for some reason, you buy it for these little minifigs. Look how insane the detail is for such a tiny, tiny thing. This is ridiculous. Okay, how tall is this little guy? The figure itself is less than 2 centimeters. Oh my gosh. Okay. Packaging obviously mirrors the packaging that the full figure comes in. And then on the back of it, you got the little Hatter Toys logo. Then you got that glow-in-the-dark boy, which I'm sure does glow in the dark, but we might need a minute for this to actually work. Yeah. We've got the Stealth Flipboard, so if you don't have the full-size ones, well, having the little guys is good enough. If you hold it real close, it's as big as the real one. And then you got Gold Flaker. Nope, Flaker. Looking real nice, I gotta say. And then you got a couple cubes of NFTs. Now, I remember this being a cube of NFT, but I don't remember what this one is, which is like, it's got sculpt to it. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But it's obviously a representation of an NFT, which is stupid. Not that this is stupid, NFTs are stupid. You got an alternate face in the box, which actually, wow. I think this is the first time I've seen it this close. And I didn't realize how tan he was. Look at the Band-Aid details. the sculpt on the Band-Aid might be the most surprising bit of this whole sculpt. The back of the hair and everything. Hair? That's not a hair. I don't know what hair is. Back of the hood. So this actually got some texture all around it, which is nice. But these glasses with the shattered thing, these should come off. And then, you know, you'll have like a nightmare trying to get them back on. You'll have a nightmare? Or it will be a nightmare? I don't know. I was really afraid I just broke him. Look at that. He's got his black eye. This is honestly way better than I thought it was gonna be. This is really nice. Wow. Okay, no offense, but this is the first time this has ever existed. So Mad Hatter Reviews, as Hatter Toys, partnered with Ramen Toys and then the people on the back of the box to create all this stuff, and they have done an excellent job. Now, I trust the quality of Ramen Toy, but I just, for something that's never existed before, there's a lot of steps to go through, so this is pretty impressive. And then you got this alternate kind of cheese-in head with different sunglasses, and you can remove those and see his kind of dead eyes, which reminds me a lot of the creator of the figure, just soulless, dead inside, you know. And that I'm not saying anything about his where he comes from, his religion, his type of what is he? In the box, you also get some gripping hands of a different sort. So these will be used for something. What is that going to be? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. And then you get a left and right of this slap yo mama hand, or maybe it's just a hold and a cube of the NFT type, like that. Could you imagine something like that working out? And then you got a couple of these, which this is one of the biggest deals of the backer thing. So if you were a Kickstarter backer, you got these middle fingers, which the sculpt and the matte finish is so good. Now, I've never bought figures that are that this is inspired by. Now, you may be familiar looking at this guy right in this area thinking, oh, I know figures that look like that, okay? Masters of a certain place in outer space. I don't have any of those things. But the word is on the street that they can be combined and mix and match, and you could put parts with the other ones onto these, which now, you know what? I've been irritated all day thinking about this thing. Now I'm really irritated. Like I just like, I feel like, I'm just like, I can't, I'm just really uncomfortable and irritated. So I'm going to go to the store and buy one of these stupid things that can mix it with that. And then I'll be back. Okay. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh, Jesus. Ugh.
I actually feel a lot better now that I went and did that. I feel really comfortable, soothed almost. Weird. I don't know what did that. But now I've got this guy who looks like a He-Man, but he's not a He-Man, he's a faker. But you can see there's some similarities to these guys. What is it about these guys? We'll see how well they can be combined. Then you get this, which is the Cloak of Tarjay. Now this is a symbol piece that will change out on there, where that radar thing helps him find the flip deals, the deals to do flipping. And the worst thing about this review is that I know the creator, so when I say things wrong, I'll never hear the end of it. Maybe I should have done a little research. This is the actual cloak, okay? So there's a lot to talk about, so we gotta keep going. Then you take his pocket watch and it turns into the Staff of FOMO. And this is because he can stop the deals. He finds the deals, he stops the deals, he can grab a hold of them, something like that. Who knows the truth? Because I didn't come up with it. But look at how much detail there is. There's so much sculpt going on here that, you know, with the human eye, you definitely wouldn't notice it, but I love this. There's like a whole nother language of sorts on there telling how the time deals stop. What does that mean? And then, of course, our boy Katja just looking absolutely stunning. Now, he does open up, and by default, his little computer is in there, which you can, of course, we know, put those little stickers on. And it looks like if you worked hard enough, you could pop those wheels off, but why would you do that? I don't know. Maybe you gave him like a little jetpack. Hey, Abasai, 3D forged Abasai forged guy. Can you please get one of these, remove the wheels, and then make a little jetpack, like boosters? Please? Use some translucent stuff, make little flames, and then I'll figure out a way to get it on a stand. Anyway, looking at the details of this little computer, fantastic. I mean, again, great sculpt. It's a computer from another world. That's why it might look a little different to you, but it can just plug right into this little slot on the front of his belly, and now he can tell you, all right, look at that. Hey, Flipper, we've got ourselves a deal. We better hit it up soon. But then he's got all these details all around his body, the little vents and things. This is so well done. Now it does crank, but it doesn't do anything. And then these do spin. Definitely the highlight of the whole set. But I love it, and you should love it too. And if you don't love it, then, go watch another channel. Now we've got our main boy, Mr. Flip Or. Again, if you don't really know this stuff, this is a play on Masters of the Universe, whatever. This is Champions of the Nefarity. What did I just say? Anyway, this is all beautiful. Flipper, satirical lord of flipping. So the whole concept is that he buys stuff and he flips it. Flips on an eBay and things like that, okay? So this is just a fun little take on everyone's worst enemy of the world. So whether you're buying PlayStations or something, and somebody flips it on eBay. The Scepter of FOMO, I call it the staff because I'm an idiot. And here's an illustration by Matt Ferguson, and look, that is going to come up soon. Then you got all of these guys in the back, and we will be able to take a look at some of these because I have some of these, but not all of them. The details, the extra text, and the things with the stuff. So let's move on. Inside the packaging, you got this. And what is this? I should know because I've seen it before. This is the comic of the story of Flipboard. Now, it's a pretty short comic. It's absolutely stunning. The artwork and everything going on in this is so nice. Written by the one and only Mad Hatter. But I mean, this alone makes me want tons and tons of stories of this character and that universe. And if you thought we were done with accessories, get those out of here. We're not done. We're never done. This is what I'm talking about as far as like a crazy. God. What I mean to say is that this is a crazy level of value for all the stuff that you're getting in there. Now, we obviously saw some other things, like we saw the Scepter FOMO. You don't want to call it anything else because then you sound like an idiot. But we saw that, so now you got the other version, the compacted version of it, okay? Now this, again, good sculpt, just enough paint detail. Love that. You do get an alternate hand. Now this hand is not a thumbs up unless you want it to be. This is specifically designed to hold this, which is a little money bag, and you gotta love a good old-fashioned money bag. So Flipboard's found some goodies. He's went, oh my god, and flipped them and made some extra cash money so that he can buy some more stuff and then flip that. Excellent job. Then we got the opened up, the full out, hanging out money bag, which again, great sculpt, great paint. This is hitting all of the right things. This really nice texture on this like fabric bag, which you could almost miss, but that is a very nice detail. And you got this backpack, which is just fully teched up, man. And if you're familiar with Masters of the Universe stuff, this is kind of in that realm of like just future, like ancient future tech stuff. Like, how do you explain that? I don't know. It has this ancient feel to it, but then it's just so futuristic at the same time to us. And this is so that it can go onto his back here, and then he utilizes this and flips his goodies into his backpack. Looking at the details of this guy, it is quite impressive what all is going on here. Again, for a figure that has never existed before, and a line from people that have never done this before, I mean, kind of. I mean, obviously Ramen Toys has done this before. Uh-oh. Did I just break his sunglasses? I sure did, because they're not that easy to remove, but you're supposed to be able to remove them, but I'm sure it's my fault. God. I mean, luckily I have other sunglasses, but they're shaped different. Day has been ruined anyway, because I don't want to look at these dead eyes that remind me of my friend who looks exactly like this. Anyway, the sculpt, the paint, yeah, it's good. Crap. Anyway, so yes, you can take this thing off fully if you wanted to, but look at, there's like all the sculpt going on for like the torn sleeves that have been removed from his shirt, because we know this guy is originally from Florida, and if you've ever been to Florida or lived in Florida, you know people love to remove their sleeves. It's almost like you have to. Great texture on this whole body. This is really nice. A good paint work here with the gradient. I like that. All of this is so well done, honestly. Like, I'm not just saying that because I know the dang guy and all the people involved. It truly is a very nice piece. Especially if you're familiar with this line of figures that kind of have this like build and this stance, okay? This is like it's a little bit nostalgic for some of you, but you can buy figures off the shelf, obviously, as I did. Experience that. What am I trying to say? I don't know. All I can think about is breaking that piece. Let's, we got some articulation, and we got some other things to look at. So his head actually has a pretty good range, more than you would expect, especially having the hood and stuff. So he looks up really well and down. Arms go out. They rotate, and this one has the flipping action, so that's why there's a ratchet happening there. So look at it. Boom. So that's pretty sweet. But then you got elbow articulation working real nice, and you got some standard wrist joints. You got some swivels there at the waist. You got some legs that kick out. So again, this is all based on a similar existing line out there, so you're not going to have a ton of articulation, even though I would like a hyper realistic version of this guy. Standard ankle rockers. Oh, and the boots rotate. So it'd be really cool to see this guy hyper realistic with soft goods, like an actual thing, loincloth in soft goods with extreme articulation. That would be amazing. Don't forget, we got that little baggie of goodies, so let's take a look. Now, these are all boxes of toys that he gets to flip. So now you can fill in your space with, you know, properly scaled boxes. You got Lyro, who is a corporate a-hole. Bash, which this is based on a real thing of the galactic rodents. You got this perfect plastic Patastic Turtles shoebox edition, and you got this Silvercox Fawn, which is another another spoof of you know who. And then this one, which I drew up and colored and did all myself. I created this all by my lonesome, okay? Mad Hatter gave me the idea, but this was for him, okay? Look at that. There's actual text that actually says things. I mean, some of it's just lorem ipsum, but some of it's real. And the back of it, which, again, all the text is real. It just is probably going to be really... No, it's not. This is nothing but filler text. It really doesn't say anything, but is needed to fill up this square. Don't be stupid. Why did I say that? This is part of a Flipboard Kickstarter campaign. You should feel very proud. Congratulations for coughing up your hard-earned cash for this. And then this is all lorem ipsum, which is nonsense. If you're reading this, be warned. This means absolutely nothing. It's very likely that this text is just too small to read. Honestly, why would you even bother trying? It's a waste of your time and probably a strain on your eyes. It's best to just give up already. And then it's made up. But how about that? Plus, I've got two of these guys. Oops. Which each come with middle fingers for being a backer, and we get a silver Catcha. Looking all adorbs. Look at that. Those red eyes really pop on this one. Loving that. You get the comic, you get the card, you get the figure, you get a blue backpack. Look at that. That metallic finish is gorgeous. You get a couple more money bags, gripping hands for the money bags, and then these guys are flip bots, so they both got those flip arms. Now, because you can swap these things around, you could put a blue on Flipboard if you wanted to, or a gold on this guy. Now, based on the mechanics of how they were built, it's just the left side that has the flip action. But look at the stunning color work on this thing. These are really popping way more than I thought they would. It's such a great combination of doing a matte finish with this like shiny metallic finish. This is really beautiful. And I'm not just saying that. And finally, we've got Stealth Flipboard, which I just had to get because not only does it look cooler in black, but you get your beloved Catcha in black. Now, there's actually a couple tones of black here. I didn't know that that was going to be the case. So you have this, which is more of like a true black, and then this, which is a little bit more of a metallic. There's almost like a blue undertone to this. This is cooler than I thought it was going to be. Now, I personally got this one because I may try to paint it myself to look like my cat that passed away a few years ago. Paint that nose, give a little bit of white in there. Yeah, be real adorable. But this idiot comes with all the same stuff, except the colors are obviously different. So you still get your 4-pack, you get your alternate head, but his glasses are red. Look at that. Yeah, this ruby red is really nice. The Scepter of FOMO is now silver, which is just a nice color complement. You still get a Cloak of Tarjay. Now there was one of Walmaria, but I don't remember how you got that guy. You had to buy Flake Ore, which I didn't buy. You get the middle fingers. You get the figure itself, money bags, hands, watch, black backpack, and just like Katja, he's got alternate shades of black. So this, again, almost has like a bluish undertone, and then you get the dark black for the fur and the boots and stuff. So this is really cool. And I like this ruby red in the glasses, like we said a second ago. If you heard me say that, I meant it. What a fantastic line to get rockin'. You gotta love it. Now, all these things can be swapped around, so I gotta do that. So if you've got one of these guys, obviously any of them, any style, whatever you want to have, you can compare them and realize that the finish and the plastic on this actually feels nicer. This actually feels like a higher quality thing. Obviously it's got the matte finish on there, which this doesn't really have. This is pretty much just a plastic toy. And I didn't mention it, but yes, this can come off. You got a gauntlet and you can put a normal hand on there, which explains why we had alternate hands, doesn't it? Which means we should be able to just take this and put it right here. Look at that. There you go. That's convincing enough that it's He-Man helping out Flipor to do his bidding and, you know, make money. Everything works. Everything swaps over. This is... it's crazy. Look at that. So look, was that a mistake for this creator, Mad Hatter, to make Hatter toys? No, not at all. This is actually an incredible thing. The fact that it funded in 48 hours is enough to prove to you that people wanted this thing. But not only that, it is a fantastic figure. The concept, the quality. I mean, aside from maybe some loose knee joints that aren't that awful, this is fantastic. Now, granted, Ramen Toy was behind the project to help support Mad Hatter and everything he was creating, but for the first figure to come out in this line, it's fantastic. And if there are any more available, I do recommend grabbing one. Not only if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, just by chance, it doesn't have anything to do with that, it just kind of happens to look like it, but also because, you know, we all experience flippers in some form or fashion, whether it's buying PlayStation 5 or action figures. So be sure to check the link down in the description and the pinned comment of this video and grab one while you can. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this, you want to see some more stuff created by creators that aren't in the toy industry that can make toys because they're people, then click the top link there. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.